All right, welcome to Lesson 8. This is the final lesson for this first unit, and the topic today is combinations and permutations. And the learning goal today, I can identify whether the question is a combination or a permutation. This is going to be the hardest section, especially on the test when you start seeing them mixed together. This is what you have to ask yourself. Every example, every homework question, every test question. Does order matter? Does order matter? If you can remember to ask yourself this question every time, including Unit 2, because we do need all these skills for Unit 2, that's the question that will make you successful, if you can remember to do that. So let's look at them. What's the difference between combinations and permutations? So very simply put, permutations, order matters. Permutations, order matters. Okay, the example, the batting lineup would be a good example. For combination, order does not matter. And an example of that is picking a group. Picking a group. So let's look at some of the examples here. Determine how many ways you can choose 3 bikes from a group of 7. Explain why it's a permutation or a combination. And I'm going to just do that orally. You can sketch that down as to the why. A little bit different when I'm teaching this live, but I'll explain the why. So we already know our N and R, okay? So N is 7, R is 3. So it comes down to, is this a combination or a permutation? This particular question is a combination, okay? Why is it a combination? So here's your explain part. The reason it's a combination is that there's no benefit to being first, second, third as a bike. Bikes don't care. We are just choosing 3 bikes from a group of 7, and that's all we are doing there. Okay, so order does not matter. If I pick my favorite bike, I pick it. If not, I don't. So therefore, there are 35 possibilities. All right. Next question. Joe and his friends are practicing for a relay race. If there are 6 people on the team, determine how many ways a lineup can be determined. Holy grammar, for a 4-person team. All right, so we already know there's 6 people on the team. All right, only 4 of them can run. Is this a combination or a permutation? The question you ask yourself, does order matter here? And the answer is very important. Very important as to the order. Because if you have a leg man, person that's going to bring it home for you, okay, you don't want them running first, obviously. For people that haven't done sports or sports isn't their thing, think of it this way. It's very, very important who is, say, cast as the lead versus who is cast as an extra. Okay, looking at it from every way I can think of. So in this case, order matters. Order matters. And that's really the explanation. So therefore, it's a permutation. So permutation of 6, 4. So if this team is trying to figure out lineups, when it goes to do the calculation, they're going to have 360 different lineups. There are 360 different lineups. All right, so order mattered, so therefore it was a permutation. Okay, so how many ways can you sit 3 people at a table when you have 5 people to choose from? So does order matter? Well, in A part, it's telling me order matters. So it must be important people get sat first. So if order matters, it's just simply a permutation. I have 5 people to choose from. I'm going to select 3. So I'm doing 5 permutation 3. And I get 60. What happens if it doesn't matter? What happens if it's just group of friends? Then it would be 5, 3. So the combination 5, 3 results in 10. So significantly less. Okay. And letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G determine how many permutations of 3 letters exist. Okay, so this would be order matters. If I was going to put this on a test, okay, I would say, and I'll put this on here because this is a good question. It would appear on a test. So let's put test on here. And the question would be, how many quote unquote words can you make? And in quotations, when I say words, I mean they may not mean anything to you, but they are different and unique. Okay, so that's how I'd word it on a test. Guarantee that there's a question like this on the test. So I'll put the old red star on it. Hint, hint, hint. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's all there. Okay, so because how many words can you form? Words, the order of letters are important. So this would definitely be a permutation. And we've got 7. And it's permutation 7, 3, which I believe we just did somewhere, but I don't have it handy. So we end up with 210. So therefore, 210 words. These are air quotes. So in class, you can see me making air quotes. I'm making them right now as I talk to you, even though I know you can't see me. Yes, I'm still sane. Okay, don't need any cheap comments. 210 words can be formed. All right, and I'm going to word it as I would on a test. So the next one, how would I word this on a test? And it would be A and B in the same question. How many groups of 3 letters can you make? Letters are there. Something like that. Okay. So because I'm using the word groups, you're looking at a combination of 7, 3. All right, so it's just, again, it's making that comparison as you go through. Here I get 35. So therefore, 35 groups. I don't know why I have air quotes on groups. 35 groups can be formed. All right, and I do have a handout for this, mainly because the textbook really doesn't do a combination of it, and it's important that you see it in context to be able to work your way through. So very important on that. It's going to be a little bit frustrating. There'll be a little bit of conversation going on, and I encourage that. Make sure you talk it through, and we'll work our way through there. Review is available, and when you're ready, you can go ahead with the Unit 1 assessment and move on through the course. Please make sure you're staying on top of the project. Very, very important not to let that slide.